What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Lumsden Motorsports Garage. I'm Wade Lumsden, and today we got something a little bit different going on. We're gonna go on a little adventure. Just getting in the truck now. We're gonna drive on this beautiful rainy day and go pick something up. So here we go. All right, so you might be wondering what we're doing. Well, we made a drive to pick up this. That's right, this is it's an 80 something. I believe it's an F250. It's got a ginormous generator sitting on the back, you know, stuck out here in the weeds. Might be wondering why we're picking up a truck. In Fallon, Nevada at Rattlesnake Raceway in June, we hold an event called Octanefest, and in Octanefest one of the events is a Tuff Truck competition. So I'm gonna do a bunch of work here, see if I can get this to fire up. When I'm out of the wind and whatnot, I will give you a little background history on Octanefest and the truck, and we'll go over it and kind of take a good look at it. But I gotta see if I can get it to go vroom vroom, or if I'm gonna have to figure out how else to get it onto a trailer so I can get it home to make it go vroom vroom. So here we go. Wish me luck. All right, so we got it pulled out of the crazy spot. You can see we're kind of sitting in the road here, and we got the generator off the back, so good news. And then we open this thing up. Oh man, it's jammed. Put a different battery in here real quick, but the Ford solenoid was missing, so went and got a Ford solenoid. So we're going to swap that out, see if we can get the dang thing to run. It was low on oil. I had to put about 4 quarts of oil in it. I did, when I put the battery in there, we jumped it to the starter and it turned over just fine. So we're going to see if we can get it to go vroom vroom. Fingers crossed. All right, guys, got the new solenoid in. We are currently charging the battery, but we've already fired it up. We made sure it had oil, all that happy stuff. She starts and runs. Problem is she's not getting fuel. So I don't know if fuel pump's bad. I don't know if the lines are rotted out, what. So right now, my old man is currently pulling around his truck with a trailer for me to use, that we're gonna load the truck onto. I'm gonna fill the bowls on this Edelbrock carburetor, which if you've never done that before, it's through these little holes on the Hollies. They're up in front, but it's these little holes on the side. So gonna put fuel in there. It runs long enough for me to be able to drive it up on a trailer. And here he comes now, truck and trailer. Yeah. He's gonna pull it up in front. I'm gonna fill up the bowls and drive it up on there, get it home. I'm gonna have to do the same thing to unload it, but hey, it's a good start. At least I have access to the fuel tanks in the back, so woo. But yeah, I'm gonna get loaded up. We're starting to lose daylight. It took me a little while for running into town and getting parts and all that stuff, so give you another update in a minute. Alrighty, all loaded up, and we are going to be headed back to Reno. So just in time, about to lose all of our light, but I'll get it home, and I'll do the unloading and bring in the trailer and stuff back tomorrow. Every little thing takes a lot of time. So all right, headed back. All right guys, it is the next day and the truck is here, so I got to get it unloaded, got to get it in the driveway, and of course I got a zillion other things planned for the day, so I'm not 100% sure what I'll actually be able to do to it today, but I'm hoping to get it washed down, because she's pretty covered in grease and stuff. But once it's unloaded, I'll give you a rundown of the truck. So the battery was dead in the truck, but I've already filled it up with the carburetor with gas. It's not getting fuel from the tank, so the amount of fuel that I have is whatever is in the bowl of this Edelbrock, and I got to get it into the yard with that. But we'll take a quick look here. So Edelbrock carburetor, I believe it's a 351 that's in here. She is layered with dirt and grime. This battery doesn't exactly fit in here the way it's supposed to fit in here, from the cables and stuff that were available. Our new solenoid, but I'm gonna try to get in here and clean some of this junk off. It's a 1985 F250. I'll give you a look on the inside here. Bench seat, pretty tore up, but doing all right. Has two gas tanks. This was the switch for front rear, which front is there, rear is there. The front one doesn't even have a fuel hose hooked up to it. It's broke off here, but it's a leaf spring truck. It's got some coilover shocks, I believe, for overload, because this at one point in time had a ginormous water tank on it with like a pressure washer steamer setup. I think that was put on there to help that situation out. And then here's our bumper. She's pretty heavy duty, already all welded up in here. I don't think we're going to change that out, but yeah, I mean, overall truck looks pretty good. Ooh, I got a set of gears here. I don't know what that's for. I guess we'll find out. I might have to pull the rear cover, make sure my gears are all right in this truck. I have a weird feeling that it was probably for a race car, and they just never left the inside of this truck. But yeah, she's not terrible looking. So now what I gotta do, get it up in the yard, get it cleaned up, and then, I guess I gotta figure out everything that I'm gonna do to it. It would help if I told you guys what a Tuff Truck is. So at Rattlesnake Raceway, we hold an event called Octanefest. At Octanefest, we hold a competition called the Tuff Trucks. The Tuff Truck competition is basically when people take their, they can take their stock vehicle, they can take a junked truck, whatever, and they go over basically a motocross track. And there's jumping and all that other happy stuff. Usually when you watch a Tuff Truck competition, it is time trialed and they do time lapse. Our Tuff Truck competition is actually a full contact Tuff Truck competition. So we're required to put, I think the only actual requirement for safety in these trucks is to put a down bar from the B pillar down to the floor by the A pillar to help bar in the door. But and I can kind of show you what I mean by that. So from B pillar here somewhere down to the floor down here, A pillar. I think that's all that's really required for our Tuff Truck stuff. Plus, you know, you got to wear a helmet and all that happy stuff. But I'm hoping, I'm gonna read the rules. I gotta dig into the rules a little bit and see what I am allowed to do, not allowed to do. One of the other things that I thought was really cool about this truck that I think I'm gonna like is this. That's right, guys. It's a twin I-beam front suspension. So I-beam front suspension, pretty cool. It is only a two-wheel drive truck, but that was kind of the stipulation. The old rules, or rather, in the past, we only allowed V6 and smaller to run, and we're opening that up to V8 as long as it's two-wheel drive and carbureted. So yeah, it'll be nice. See if we can get my 1985 beat up Ford that's lived a pretty tough life, I'm not gonna lie, to compete in the Tuff Trucks. So it was kind of nice. I've actually had this truck sitting around for I don't know, it's been in my possession for probably 2 or 3 years now. It was a work truck for my dad. He used it as a job site truck when he had his business, and then it turned into a pressure washing truck, and then it turned in, I mean, it had a bunch of different lives, and then he was just going to get rid of it and part it out, and I was like, oh, I want to do a Tuff Truck. And then of course he gives it to me so I can do that. Never really had the time to do it. We always had 2 different Tuff Truck classes. One was time trialed, one was full contact. The time trial one, we allowed the V8s. The contact one, we didn't. So I was like, oh, I could put it together for a time trial truck, and I just never got to it. But now that they're allowing us into the contact one, now I'm like super excited about it, and I want to get it done. So got about 3 weeks. So yeah, hopefully this battery took enough charge and I can get it to fire up and get it into the driveway so I can start getting it cleaned off and stuff. I still have to drive the borrowed truck and trailer all the way back out to Fallon and come back into town. So don't know what I'm gonna get done today, but hey, truck's here at least. That's half the battle. So all right, so we got it fired up and to go since I had a fuel delivery issue. Check out my little makeshift third bowl of gasoline. Not exactly the safest thing in the world, but you know, you do what you got to do to get it where you need it to go. Woo! All right, well, now that the truck's here, the trailer and all that jazz is all unloaded, I know I'm not going to be able to do an amazing job, but I'm going to try to get some of the dirt and grime, and there's a really thick buildup of stuff in there, so I can get a good look at what we're going to be working with. So I'm going to try to spray off components and stuff. Pulled out my pressure washer, see if I can cover that up. Luckily I have 2 carb hat spacers, carb covers, carb hats. One's currently on the modified, the other one was in the trailer, so I went ahead and put that on. I'm going to cover up the distributor and coil, and then we'll get to rinsing. Well, that didn't work. The pressure washer gave up the ghost, so now I guess I'm just going to rinse it down the old-fashioned way with a hose. So rinsed it down the best that I could. Didn't exactly do an amazing job. The hose left something to be desired, but I mean, we got rid of a bunch of mud to start with. But if we look underneath, I think you can see a bunch of the stuff that washed out here. But if you look underneath, you can tell that the cross members and everything just still caked, and the I-beams and all the suspension stuff. And if you really look under, like the transmission and stuff is still pretty caked. I got what I could, but they really need to be hit with a pressure washer to get cleaned off really well. And my luck, you know, gave up the ghost. And then I know a lot of this interior is going to get stripped out, so I went ahead. There was literally dirt like stacked in the door jambs and on the floor. This was sitting out in a yard out in the Nevada desert, lots and lots of sand, and I do believe the windows were down or open at one point. There was lots of wasp nests and stuff in here, and stuff like that. So I just said I didn't want to mess with it, and washed out what I could. I know there's still lots of water sitting in here, but we'll get all that dried off. I even went as far as to spray off the dash. But on the back there wasn't really a whole lot to wash off, but hit what I could anyways. There was mostly like cobwebs and some tumbleweeds and things like that shoved in there, but it's kind of nice. We revealed like the shock bushings are gone, so we're really gonna have to take a look at some of the bushings. We got a bunch of mismatched tires on here. I think of the 4 tires, there are 3 different sizes of tires, but not one is the same brand. Go figure. There was some stuff sitting on the inside, set of gears, ring and pinion. I have no idea what those are for. I'll have to look them up, but either way the bearing and stuff on it's no good anymore. But they look like they were brand new in a box. And then these, I honestly have no idea what they are. I think they're a horn. I know this big long thing's a horn. I have no idea, and I think that's the original air cleaner housing out of this thing. So might use that, might not. We will see. And in here, I didn't hose off the seat because the seat's just coming out. I'm just gonna unbolt it and pull it out, and I'll probably end up hosing out the inside of this some more. I didn't bother to see if I can. Oh yeah, see see what I'm talking about. This thing is just full of dirt. So most likely once the seat and everything's out, I will wash all this stuff out too. That way we can start getting the cage and stuff in. And you guys, you know, hopefully maybe you guys can comment and give me your opinion beforehand, but my original idea was to, you know, put a hoop on the inside here, you know, like a regular roll cage, and then do kickers, but just try to get the kickers to come out, you know, in the corner up here, so I can leave all the glass in it, which is still within the rules for the Tuff Trucks. And by being able to leave the glass in it, I know I got to take headlights, taillights and stuff like that, but I can always put you know, removable lights or something on the front end. You know, give me your opinion. Should I bother, you know, caging the whole inside and putting a, you know, putting a halo around and down bars and, you know, 1 or 2 door bars and all that stuff, and then throw my kickers out? Or do you think I should just external the whole cage and put my hoop back here and kickers back, and then punch a hole in the bottom of the cab, because the rules do require that bar from here down to the floor down there. So I would have to put a hole in here no matter what. It's just a matter of where. So give me your opinion. I still got time to kick around some ideas and stuff, because I'm going to be looking at suspension and things like that until I get some pipe in. Really, with a truck, I would love to use 1 3/4 or 2 inch, but I am limited to 1.5 inches because that is all I have a bending die for. So I'm going to probably use 1.5 inch 120 wall to make this cage. But again, it doesn't have to be anything fantastic or super crazy. So I think I can get away with that. So yeah, give me your guys' opinion. I did go digging around a little bit. I'm gonna move the battery probably way back behind the cab and put it in a nice box. But I went digging around and I found these are a set of tires. These Discover ST, these Coopers, 285 75 R16s. Originally we threw this tire on here just so we can move this from one property to another when we moved, or rather when my dad moved. And I had a set of 4 at one point in time. I was only able to find the one that's on the truck and 2 more that were in my dad's yard. So I don't know where the 4th one went. Of course, I'm still debating on tire size. Do I want to go 285s or do I want a smaller tire? Give me your guys' opinions on tire size and stuff. I have this feeling I'm not going to be able to do a lift or anything like that, so might be stuck with the stock way it sits. I'm gonna have to go ask some questions, because you know, a spring shackle flip in the back and maybe messing with the front I-beams where they mount would be super cool and a lot of fun, but I don't know if the rules are going to let me. I requested a copy of the rules, and they're supposed to be emailed to me soon, so we'll see. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. I told you I love to work on a whole bunch of different projects, not just circle track stuff, so here we are working on a Tuff Truck. Comment down below if you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions. I think I've got a whopping 3 weeks to get this thing done. I believe it's June 11th. I'll have to double check on that, so don't quote me, but I think it's June 11th. Rattlesnake Raceway in Fallon, Nevada. We're gonna have Octanefest, which we get to run the Tuff Trucks. So it's gonna be a whole lot of fun. I got a lot of work to do. I gotta go get myself another pressure washer, because the grease on this thing is relentless. Hoy! And I think the only way I'm gonna be able to get it off is with a pressure washer. So again, don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, comment below, and see you guys next time.